Yo, what is going on, Eagles fans? Welcome back to the J All Day Show. In today's episode, we're going to do our weekly NFL 2024 mock draft for the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to do all 7 rounds. As you can see up on the screen, the Eagles did make a signing. They added some tight end depth. CJ Uzomah, he spent the last 2 years with the Jets, originally drafted by the Bengals. He's a decent guy. Career 82 games, 192 catches, about 1,900 yards, 16 tutties. He did appear in a Super Bowl with the Bengals not too long ago. This adds some depth to that tight end room behind Dallas Goedert. So that kind of takes away from me any possibility that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to take a tight end in this draft. There's just so much value at other positions, especially offensive line, cornerback, wide receiver, a lot of depth at those positions. All right, before we get into this mock draft, don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We just crossed 4,500 subs. Thanks to all of you guys. I'm also doing an Eagles autograph giveaway in one of my other videos. We're about halfway to the standards that we need to get to in order for me to give away those autographs. Brandon Graham, Jalen Hurts. I'll leave a link to that video in the description below. All right. Let's get into it. All right, Bird Gang, if you look on the board of the players that are left, we have a very tough decision on our hands. Nate Wiggins has unbelievable speed. He ran like a 4.3 40 at the combine. The dude is a legit number 1 corner. The only thing that concerns me about Nate Wiggins is he's a little on the skinnier side. This 185 weight is not right at all. He's more like 170 pounds. I don't know where they got this information from. He is 6'2". He is only 21, so he will have time to fill out that frame a little bit. If we can get him in between 190 and 195 pounds at 6'2", he's a legit number 1 cornerback. I also read stuff that he was like 167 pounds, like around the combine. So the dude is Superman skinny. I don't know where they got this 185 pounds. Maybe with all his pads on and a 5-pound dumbbell around his waist, he weighs 185 pounds. And then Olu Fashanu, the tackle from Penn State. I mocked him to the Eagles a bunch of times. I mean, he's just so good. He's so talented. He hasn't been on the field a lot over the last 3 years. Only 4 games in 2021, only 8 games in 2022, and he finally played a full season, 12 games in 2023. But he's a baby, man. He's only 21 years of age, too. 6'6". He's a big-ass baby. 320 pounds, man. This guy is a true tackle with NFL frame. He's got good arms, quick steps. He's a very, very good pass blocker. If you look at his stats, that's why you draft a guy like him. 89 pass grade. Oh, Bird Gang, what do we do? Leave me messages in the comments below. What would you do with this pick? If Fashanu and Wiggins are both on the board, you go offensive lineman? Of course, if we go offensive lineman, he's going to sit for probably 2 years, depending if Mailata or Lane Johnson gets hurt. But Lane Johnson has been hurt a lot over the past few seasons. So does Howie Roseman draft an offensive lineman? He doesn't usually draft corners in the first round. I don't think the Eagles have drafted a corner in round 1 in like 30 years. So to me, it's a really tough decision. I like Nate Wiggins, but at 170 pounds, man, that's really, really skinny. That's like a little bit more heavier than I am, and I'm only like 5'9", man. So like, I'm like 5'9", 165, and this dude's 6'2", 167. He's really thin to play outside corner in the NFL, going against guys like A.J. Brown and these monsters. You think he's going to go one-on-one with DK Metcalf? I don't know. So, I'm picking this pick because I think this is what Howie Roseman would do. Howie Roseman loves building his teams through the trenches, right? He does it all the time. It's D-line or O-line, and that's pretty much the ticket for Howie Roseman and how he builds his teams. I'm going Olu Fashanu, the tackle from Penn State. He could potentially play right guard over Tyler Steen if they want to go that route, if they want to start him right away, and they think he brings that much value to this offensive line. But he's probably going to be the right tackle of the future once Lane Johnson's career is over. I don't think Lane has many years left. I'm saying 2 years at the most, depending if he's healthy or not. His body's kind of been breaking down a little bit. That's why I think the Eagles will not pass up on Fashanu. He's going to the Birds with their first pick in the first round. All right, Eagles fans. Luckily for the Birds, they pick at pick 50 and pick 53. They have no third round pick, but I wouldn't be surprised if Howie Roseman doesn't love the board value-wise at 50 or 53, trades back and adds maybe a late second and a late third or fourth round pick in this draft. Howie always makes draft day trades, so we'll have to see what he has up his sleeve this year. But for me, the biggest need for the Eagles, in my opinion, is cornerback and linebacker, right? So if we type in cornerback and linebacker, we'll see what value is there. So right now, Kyrie Jackson is the best corner on the board, but he hasn't played that much, man. For a early second round pick, I like him. 6'3", 195 is amazing size. And if he's there at 53, I might consider him. But it's between Edgerrin Cooper and Junior Colson. Colson's really good. Pass rush grade 60, run defense grade 80. It just doesn't hold up to Edgerrin Cooper. All right, Eagles fans, if you follow my content, you know how much I love Edgerrin Cooper. And all the linebackers left in the draft don't hold up Cooper's socks, man. 86 pass rush grade, 87 run D grade, coverage grade 85. He is like a creative linebacker, man. He does everything well. He can rush the passer. He can drop back in coverage, man. He can stop the run. He's a beast, man. 90 grade this year, 6'3", 230. I'm not going to waste any of your time even talking about this anymore. If he's available at pick 50, especially in Vic Fangio's 3-4 scheme, you need great off-ball linebackers, and that's exactly what Edgerrin Cooper is. All right, Bird Gang, it's pick 53, the Birds' second pick in the second round. There's a ton of wide receiver depth on the board right now. Unfortunately for the Eagles, they don't have a third-round pick. If they had a third-round pick, I would definitely go corner here. Kyrie Jackson's really good. But look, the next guy is Max Melton. He's just okay. So what do we do here? Do we get a wide receiver later in the draft? Because we have pretty good wide receivers, right? That's what I'm thinking we do. I'm thinking we go after Kyrie Jackson. I know the first 2 years in college he wasn't that good, but he's kind of grown up a lot. 6'3", 195. That's amazing size for an outside corner. 6'3". He can go up against these guys coming out of the draft like Brian Thomas Jr. that are really high-end speed, and they're tall. A lot of number one receivers nowadays are 6'2" or bigger, and they're muscular guys. So these 170-pound cornerbacks, to me, aren't going to hold up in today's NFL. They're going to have to move into the slot. So that's why I like Kyrie Jackson. He's going to the Birds in the second round, only because I think we can get a quality wide receiver in the fourth round if some of them are still available. All right, Kyrie Jackson to the Birds, cornerback in the second round. The third round has passed the Eagles by. Now we're in the fourth round, pick 20 in the fourth round. I'm looking over who's left in this draft, and a guy that really sticks out to me. We definitely need some edge help now that Hassan Reddick is gone. We don't know how the other guys are going to pan out at edge. Edge is not as important now because we're in a 3-4 scheme, but this guy could also play off-ball linebacker. He's a very, very good pass rusher. That's why I think he could fit over 15 or 16% is very, very good. And I really like this guy. He's gotten better and better every year, and he's very durable. 42 pass rush snaps and 14 sacks. That's serious production. And we want that kind of production. And you could see he's wreaked havoc in games. Look at all these 80 and 90 grades. Towards the end of the season, all 70 grades. This guy is a very talented player. Muhammad Kamara, 6'1", 250. That's why I think he's not your traditional edge guy that's like 6'3", 265. I think he fits better as a more outside linebacker type in that 3-4 scheme. I really, really do. I love Muhammad Kamara in the fourth round. Take a flyer on a guy with all those sacks, man. I love Kamara in the fourth round to the Birds. Here we are again, guys. Round 5, pick 26. Jason Kelce has retired. We do not have a ton of depth at the center position, but I love Drake Nugent, the center from Michigan, man. He started every game for the Wolverines, the national champion Wolverines, the last 3 seasons. He's played 800 or more snaps the last 2 years. This guy gave up 1 sack in 845 snaps last year, and they're playing murderer's row, man. Look at all these great teams. Washington, Alabama, Penn State, Ohio State. To give up 1 sack in almost 900 snaps is pretty unbelievable. I like his size too, 6'2", 301 pounds. I am a huge fan of Drake Nugent going to the Birds. I think this is an amazing pick. He could be like a swing center and swing guard, and he could even compete with Tyler Steen for that right guard position. Drake Nugent's going to the Birds. Luckily for the Birds, we have picks 171 and 172. I want to add some depth to that running back room. Saquon Barkley can't do it all, and Kenny Gainwell, he's just not that guy. So let's go after Dillon Johnson, the running back from Washington. Washington had one of the most high-powered offenses in college football. Michael Penix Jr., Rome Odunze. This team was absolute killers. He rushed for almost 1,200 yards, over 5 yards per carry, 88 rushing grade, 78.2 zone grade, gap grade 87.6. I love Dillon Johnson. He's got good size too. 6 foot, 218 pounds. Pair him up with Saquon Barkley and you have a very formidable running back room for the Birds. This offense is going to be awesome next year. With pick 172, I want to add more depth to the safety room. We have Reed Blankenship, but he's only on a 1-year deal. And then we signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson to a multi-year deal. But if you look at his PFF grades over the past few seasons, he's a mediocre safety, man. He brings some toughness and some grit to your defense, but he's just not an elite guy. And I think you need to bring some competition in that room. And I love James Williams, the safety from Florida. Coverage grade 85.5. He's a really good player. This late in the draft, we're late in the 6th round. He's got over 70 grades the past 2 years. He's a tackling machine. 65 tackles last year. Good size, 6'5", 215 pounds. This guy is going to lay the wood. I love James Williams, the safety, to add some depth to that safety room for the Birds. All right, Eagles fans, thanks so much for tuning into this video. We have our last pick of our 2024 mock draft. And in this defensive scheme that Vic Fangio runs, you can never have too many linebackers. And everyone knows if you watched the Eagles last year, the linebackers were absolute trash. Like super trash. So for me, I'm debating between Darius Massasow and Dallas Gant, the linebacker from Toledo. If you look at Darius, he had a pretty good year. 81 overall grade, 72. Pass rush grade, 74. Run defense grade. He's great in coverage, 85. But there's something glaring in his game. 14% missed tackle rate. That's trash, man. And the last thing the Eagles and our Eagles fans need is another guy who can't tackle. So Massasow, see you later, bro. Dallas Gant, on the other hand, he's not great rushing the passer, but he can get better at that. Great against the run, 87.2. Great in coverage, and only a 6% missed tackle rate. Do you want a 15% missed tackle rate guy or a 6% missed tackle rate guy? For me, guys, this is a pick the Eagles have to make. Dallas Gant, the linebacker from Toledo, was on an excellent defense, along with Quinyon Mitchell, who's a cornerback, is going to be a top 15 pick in this year's draft. Comes from a great defense. Missed tackle rate only 6%. 87 overall grade this year. To get him this late in the draft is an absolute steal. I love this pick. All right, my Eagles fan, here is our 2024 mock draft. Getting Olu in the first round is amazing. This dude is going to be a tackle for the Birds for the next decade. Edgerrin Cooper at 50 might be a stretch drafting a linebacker this early in the draft, but the Eagles are desperate for linebackers with Fangio running that 3-4 system. Then we went cornerback Kyrie Jackson. I like that pick. I don't love it. The value in the second round was not the best for the Eagles, but, you know, that could be a possible trade back situation. Then we got the edge defender from Colorado State who had over 15 sacks, Muhammad Kamaru. Drake Nugent, the center. We need center depth. Then we went Dillon Johnson, James Williams, and Dallas Gant. I like this draft, but I think this fills a bunch of needs for the Philadelphia Eagles. We need corners. We need linebackers. We need a running back. We need depth at all these positions. And we did just that in this draft. Let me know in the comments below. Do you like this draft? You like some of my other drafts better? Don't forget, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to leave the autograph giveaway link in the comments below. Don't forget to check that out. Peace.